Here we go, guys. Oh, PDP podcast. What's going on? Good show. Always good to watch. But that's not what we're here for today. We're here to watch what is happening in the crypto markets, guys. Why did Bitcoin have a major rally and then just a massive dumparooski right after that earlier today? And we're going to be covering all the critical levels here for Bitcoin in general, altcoins of your choosing. So make sure you're dropping your altcoins into the chat, my friends, because it is wild the level of up and down that we are getting in this market right now. What's going on, Eddie Parker, Crypto Citadel member in the house? Good to see all of you guys in here. Guys, what the heck is this? What the heck was this, right? Why did we see a major pumparooski straight up to 90,300 and then a massive dumparooski right after, taking us back down to 86,500. I'm going to break this down for you guys, for anybody watching that doesn't understand why this happened, that might be confused, that might be calling market manipulation. Market manipulation. Guys, it's not manipulation. It's basic technical analysis. So let's break it down. First off, we had the previous day range for yesterday. The grand majority of it, we were ranging between 86,600 to about 87,900. So let's call it 88,000. Big sideways range there. But the previous day, the Monday range, we had a very wide range with the main amount of volume and the daily NPOC all the way up at $89,497. As you guys can see right here, perfectly lining up right here. We had a major dumparooski on Monday, like always, and we came all the way down to the low 86,000. Today, we were chopping sideways. We came down. We hit our gold pocket that I warned everybody in the Crypto Citadel about last night of dumping down to the gold pocket. And then we slowly started to grind up, breaking out of our downtrend from the Asia and London trading session. And as we approached the stock market open, we started to get a little bit more bullish and consolidate above this previous week low of 87,500. And like I mentioned to the Crypto Citadel earlier this week, meanwhile, we're above the previous week low and within the Monday range, we are most likely going to rotate and push towards this daily NPOC of 89,400. Now, did I catch the long? No. It happened quicker than I could react before it actually happened, so no big deal. But as we had this massive skyrocket, right, on the 15-minute, just one major 15-minute candle, taking us from 87,500 all the way to 89,500. And then quickly above that, guess what happens? Look, we have the local high. Look at these local highs here from Monday. We quickly pierced those levels, ran it to the monthly open, the 382 fib, the monthly VWAP, and the previous week high VWAP as well. And we got rejected, right? So if you're going out to the 30-minute, we have a perfect sweep of these levels here. A perfect sweep hitting the weekly average, weekly MPOC, monthly open, lots of critical levels, and sweeping these highs from Monday were the exact recipe you needed to enter a short. And what did we do? We did exactly that, right? I warned the Crypto Citadel about this potential play happening. I dropped the signal at 10:10 a.m. this morning of, hey, if we get this short here, if we sweep the Monday high, the entry is 90,000, and these are the three TPs. So far, 2 out of the 3 have already hit. We hit TP1, TP2. I closed that TP2 with a win of over 47%, over 433 smackaroons for the day. Now, how did I know? Because we saw these sweeps, right? Everybody started to FOMO in here, started to stack up longs, thinking that just because we had this major rally out of nowhere, right, that, hey, we're going to 100K, because that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to hit home runs and just assume that we're going to go for 100K plus, when in reality, that's not the case. And we got a massive rejection all the way back down. TP2 was right at this weekly open previous day high. We tried to retest and we just melted right through on the 30-minute. Melted right through it, losing this retest right here, losing this key support means that we are heading lower, and we did, and we currently are. We're being held up by the London and Asia high, London and Asia low around 86,000. But the overall target, if we continue heading lower, should be this Monday low. You sweep the high, you go for the low of 85,200. So even though we haven't hit TP3 yet, this is probably going to happen later today. And even if it doesn't, it doesn't really matter anymore. I took profits. Took on TP2, major move of 47% in a matter of minutes, guys. And this all happens with proper technical analysis and risk management, right? Not buying FOMO and not buying fear. What's the vest for? Bandito burrito, you must wear protection when trading. If you're not wearing protection when trading, you will get burned, right? It's all about the risk management, my friend. Risk management. Cheesy King, what's going on, Cheese King? Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate everybody in here smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, Anthony. Let's see here. Are you afraid of the internet? Oh, I'm not afraid of the internet, bro. I'm afraid of those liquidation events for Bitcoin, bro, because I don't want to end up like those people getting massively liquidated like we got earlier today of what? 51 million got liquidated on that major drop for Bitcoin. And you know when that happens? When you're not wearing protection, bro, you got to wear protection. 51 million liquidated in crypto long positions in the last 60 minutes. That was earlier today at 11 a.m., right? 11 a.m., massive liquidation event, which was this major move. A lot of people started stacking up longs, thinking we're going up forever. We're going to 100K, baby. We're back. Santo rally. But guess what, my friends? We're not back. We hit major key resistance. Nobody's looking at charts. Everybody's buying off the FOMO and the fear. And guess what? Massive dumperooski straight back down. So let's see here. Let's jump back into the chat. Of course, this vest protects me from getting liquidated. You know why? Because it reminds me to use a stop loss. It reminds me to use proper risk management. It reminds me not to FOMO and not to get very extreme fear when we're at lows, right? So when this massive candle was pumping, right, was I getting FOMO and starting to go long up here because we're thinking, no, because the vest reminds me, hey, bro, protection first. Always use protection first. And going long up here is not using protection, my friends. Is it over, fam? Oh, we'll cover that exactly. If Bitcoin loses 83 or 85 support, alts will get crushed. I mean, alts have been getting crushed in general, but yes, if Bitcoin does lose the 85 to $83,000 support, we're going for this previous month low, guys. We're going for the previous month low. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? There's a very good chance that we take out this 80,500 first, then we running it back up to 100. And today's perfect evidence of that, right? We had a nice rally, instant back down. All of last week, we've been nothing but down. Look at all this. Just we go up, Bar Simpson up, Bar Simpson down, Bar Simpson up, Bar Simpson's down, right? Sideways, 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 down, up, Bar Simpson, boom, Bar Simpson back down. Up again, up, boom, right back down. So the trend is your friend, and the trend is to the downside, my friends. The trend is to the downside. That is the unfortunate truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, this might not be the channel for you. Because I'm going to tell you how it is, guys. I'm not going to give you what you want to hear. I'm not going to give you what makes you feel good. I'm just going to give you the reality. And the reality is that things look like they're heading lower before they're heading up. It's just that basic. Now, can I be wrong? Absolutely. I can definitely be wrong. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope we rallied up, right? Because if we do rally up first before taking out these lows and we rally towards 98,000, 100K, let me tell you guys, I am going to be looking for a fat short at $80,000. At 98 to 100,000. Because that's going to be the next massive bull trap. Cheese King says, sorry, bro, I need to go. We'll sub, though. Appreciate it, Cheese King. Let's go. Good to see you in here, brother. Let me close this up here. Boom. Oh, damn it. What's going on, Anderson? Mr. Anderson. What's going on? Yes, perfect evidence at the 80K range. Yep, 80K range, man. Can't break it. Can't hold it. Should have left my short in a bit longer. Oh, 100%, man. If we would have left the short in, right, I closed it right up here around 87.9. Obviously, dropped a lot more all the way down to 86. But, guys, can't be greedy. Can't be greedy. Can't let the greed take over. already made 47%, 433 smackaroons in 30 minutes. I'm done for the day, guys. I'm done for the day. Most people cannot make that in a 9 to 5 job, right? Working 9 to 5, working 8 hours a day, a good paying job, you take home about 200 something dollars. So being able to make 433 smackaroons, I'm happy with that. I'm good, and I'm done for the day. Hey, I heard there will be a crypto related announcement in the White House today. Is that true? I haven't seen anything about that. If there is, buckle up. Let's hope it's good. The announcements are always good, but the reactions are not always good. So, you know, haven't heard anything about an announcement. Maybe there is a tweet out there somewhere that I haven't seen, but it is what it is. Let's go on over here to Ethereum in the short term, right? Ethereum did something very, very similar. Ethereum did give a way better signal for a long than Bitcoin did. Bitcoin just kind of pumped out of nowhere, but ETH, right? ETH right here had a massive sweep of the Asia low and the London low, along with the Monday low. Very good entry for a long here on the 15-minute. The minute you start seeing this, enter long. I warned the Crypto Citadel that, hey, this sweep was potentially happening, and we were going to be looking for at least 29.90. We rocketed it up all the way to 3,023, hitting our previous week low, getting rejected, and then when Bitcoin pulled back, so did Ethereum, pulling right back down, now losing the previous day low, putting Ethereum in danger of dropping even lower towards the $2,700 area if we cannot get back above this previous day low, Monday low of 28.93. So definitely something to be careful with here with Ethereum in the short term. But overall in the short term, Ethereum's still been holding up pretty well overall. Now over here on Tesla, I actually had the Tesla chart pulled up. I was watching the PDP podcast and they were talking about Tesla stock price. And I was like, you know what? Let me go look at Tesla real quick. Let me go keep an eye on what's happening over here. And Tesla pretty much rocking at an all-time highs from December of 2024, right? Of $486. We're currently at $476. We just made an all-time high of $494. Critical targets to the downside here, if we were to have a pullback in the short term, are between 452 to 421, with critical support here at this 378. We lose 378 and Tesla could be dropping down to about 329 before having a steeper pullback. Now, it's only a matter of time before we have a pullback. It can't go up forever. Now, can it go higher? Absolutely. Can it pull back towards this 378 and continue pushing higher? Absolutely. I'm not saying we're going down to 282 or 329, but I'm just saying between 452 to 378 are some critical pullback areas that I would be looking for some potential bounce of support before continuing to push up higher, as we are at all-time highs right now. In case we have any type of pullback in Q1, those will be critical areas that I'm looking at for Tesla. And if you guys didn't know, you can actually trade Tesla on Solana. Man, this is ping pong is crazy. Oh yeah, dude, it's super crazy. Great for trading, but definitely very, very frustrating for long-term holders, man, because the minute you think you're getting a rally, you just get smashed once again, and there's just no rally in sight, unfortunately. Let me actually add my Tesla. There we go. Boom. Thank you very much. Let's move on over to Solana. Make way. So Solana here. Let me jump out. Let me jump down to the hourly. Solana, similar move. We rallied up to the previous week high, anchored VWAP, hit our weekly average, hit all of our targets to the upside, got rejected on the 1 hour, indicating reversal. Boom. Straight smack right back down to 123. Our next big target is 121, which is the previous month low. Where'd it go? Yeah, we're currently below the Monday low. Our next big target is the previous month low of 121. If 121 does not hold, we do have a target at 119 for Solana. And if Solana loses 119 and Bitcoin continues to have a pull down towards that 80,000 or lower, let me tell you, Solana's next major target doesn't come in until $73. $73, my friends. Now, Solana has been, for the grand majority of 2025 holding above 120, right? As you guys can see here, this is this is right here. Zooming out to the daily, we have been holding up above 119 to 120 area with a slight dip on April of 2025, and then every other time we've been above that area. So if we lose, if we lose that 119 area, next big target is $73 to the downside for Solana. So be very careful there. I'm depressed, broke at Xmas, 100K down. Trust me, man, we're all depressed. Everybody's depressed. I just got my Instagram just got banned yesterday because the same scammer that banned my TikTok account the first time is now once again blackmailing me for another $3,500 for Instagram. And I said no. And guess what? Got mass reported my account and got it banned. And I just lost 15,000 followers on Instagram. So now I'm trying to fight with Instagram Meta to try to get my account back. If I can't, I'm going to have to be starting back over from zero. So we're all depressed. The Santa rally is not what we expected. And, it sucks, man, but it will get better. It will get better. If you believe in Jesus, if you believe in God, right, then you understand that there is no evil to fear, for he has already won, right? What evil can stand against you if he's beside you? So it's very aggravating. It's very emotional. It's very, internally hard to process. But if you believe in Jesus Christ, then you know that everything's gonna be okay. You've been saved. The good news is that you have been saved. So no matter what happens here on this life in this world, whatever pain, whatever suffering, it's all temporary. But the Almighty is eternal, forever, and being in the presence and glory of God will be forever. So whatever suffering we have to deal with here, whatever first world problems, losing money, losing social media accounts, whatever, it all sucks in the short term, but in the long term, it means nothing. What is the price down at this stage? Okay, sorry, I was trying to read your question here. Let me move this, if I can move this a little bit more. Whoa. Let me see here. All right. Respectfully question, what Bitcoin price is at the down of this stage? So yeah, if Bitcoin continues to dump, right? If we're going to assume that we are entering a bear market, we are going to be dropping lower and lower. The big targets that I'm looking for to the downside, let me quickly adjust my chart here so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Where is this regression trend? Let me turn off these VWAPs. Our big critical targets to the downside are going to be between 67,000 to 57,000. Right? I know a lot of people are looking at this bear flag over here and they're like, well, we're breaking out the bear flag. And if you measure the pull of the bear flag to this downside, you're looking around 67,000. Guys, we're below the yearly range of 2025 that is still developing. We're going to be closing it out here at the end of this month. We're going to be closing out the year, the quarterly, the monthly, the 6 month. Lots of big data coming in that everybody's going to be getting into Crypto Citadel. But, I'm not looking at the bear flag. The bear flag, everybody's looking at the bear flag. Now, do I agree with 67,000? Yes. Do I agree for their reasons? No. I think their reasons are, when a pattern is so easily recognizable that everybody can see it, it's really probably not going to play out like they do. And even if it does, it's probably not for the reason that they think it is, right? The real reason is we're outside of our yearly range, right? If we come back up towards 96 to 100 and get rejected, and we get rejected from this range to the upside, we will be coming down to retest our next range, the range for 2024. Its value area high lines up at $74,000. If we begin to lose that support, we will re-enter the 2024 yearly range, and its main NPOC, its main target is 67,338. That is the yearly naked point of control for 2024. Now, we do have a 6-month NPOC and a monthly NPOC down at 59 to 57, which could be some later targets to drop to if we continue dropping down. But those are the main targets that I'm looking for to the downside if the bear market is really here. Let me see here. Bull market's over, just stacked USD until 60 to 40K. Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, I'm not saying that, yes, the bull market is over. There is a chance for a 50% move to happen in Q1. Now, we still don't have all the clear data on where this move is going to happen, if it's going to be 50% to the upside or 50% to the downside. If it is a 50% drop to the downside, then yeah, we're definitely looking at those 60s to $40,000 price point, which was the value area low of the 2024 yearly range is 48,000. So I would not be interested in buying Bitcoin in spot until we're at those levels, right? Between 67 and lower is where I would be starting to dollar cost average Bitcoin. Now, like I said, there is a chance we reclaim this yearly this yearly range. We have a yearly point of control up at 104, and there is a chance of a 50% move to the upside, which will take us to like about $136,000 in Q1. So we'll just have to wait and see what the yearly data, what the quarterly data, what the 6-month data, and the monthly data is all telling us in the next 2 weeks on January 1st, when all the data is concluded on the charts and all those updates go out into the Crypto Citadel. Good to see you, Diamond. Diamond says amen. Appreciate it. Let's see over here. It means your breakthrough is near. God bless you, bro. I appreciate that, Kyle. I appreciate that, man. I really hope so. I really hope so, man. I'm putting all my trust and faith in God that, he will get me through this tough time. And, even if my prayers aren't answered, bro, I'm still rich, bro. I'm still blessed. And I don't mean rich financially. I mean rich in family, in faith, in health, right? So even if I lose all my social medias and I disappear tomorrow, right, and I never create content again because all my channels get taken down, it's okay, man. I'll just figure out how to make money some other way. Money comes and money goes. That's one of the big lessons that I've learned in faith, right? Sometimes I get really wrapped up in work and get really wrapped up in running the Discord and running my private trading community and, making all the content and all the live stream and trying to get new members. And, moments like that when, your Instagram just gets taken away and maybe everything is going to get taken away, goes to show you that none of it really matters. And what really matters is spending time with family and just appreciating every moment you get with them and, just appreciating your good health. Would you decide to take entry Bitcoin long position at this stage, and would you take entry in Bitcoin? So no, I'm not taking any entries on Bitcoin for a long unless we're looking at below 80,000, right? Below 80,000, if we sweep the previous month low or if we come down towards that $73,000 price point, all right, that's where I will be looking for a long for Bitcoin. But I'm not look for a potential bounce to the upside, but I'm not looking for any longs right now. Not saying that we can't get the rally. I'm just saying right now is just not the best position to take a long. Just because it really seems like we're going to be going down for that previous month low. Should I sell now? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you when to buy, when to sell. Big sell off tomorrow. Get ready. I don't know if tomorrow we're going to have a big sell off or not, but we do know that on Friday, Japan is going to be raising interest rates, right? And if they do raise interest rates, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's already baked in. I don't think so. I hope they're right, but I personally don't feel like they're right. So if it's not baked in, that could be another major catalyst to drop to the downside. And if you don't understand why Japan is a major catalyst event to drop Bitcoin, is because they have run their interest rates at practically near zero for almost ever. They are one of the biggest money lenders in the global stage of money, right? So they make tons of investments foreign, all around the world, in global markets, Bitcoin, all this stuff, right? And it's very cheap to borrow money there. And then people go there, they borrow money, and then they go and reinvest it. Now they're tightening up, they're raising interest rates, making money more expensive there to borrow, meaning they're pulling liquidity out of the global markets, which does hurt risk on assets like Bitcoin. So I would not be surprised of a knee-jerk reaction from Japan raising interest rates on Friday, that will potentially, Bitcoin to the downside, maybe taking it to that 80,000. Let's see here. Crypto is no longer decentralized. Whales control everything. Well, whales have controlled stuff for the longest time, right? That's nothing new. Whales have always existed in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? There's all types of ETH whales and Bitcoin whales. Things are just different now with institutions being here and, global money and just being more. There's a bigger spotlight on Bitcoin price action and just the overall structure of the market and how the market behaves, and it makes it feel like it's less decentralized, and in some aspects it is. I will agree with you in some aspects, right? But I wouldn't be deterred or afraid of getting involved in the crypto space because there's big whales that buy a lot of Bitcoin or buy a lot of ETH. I still believe Bitcoin is going to hit that 200K plus area, hopefully somewhere near 500,000 by the 2030, 2028 time zone, which right now we're only 2 years away from. But this is something that I've been looking forward to, or believing that could be a realistic target since 2018, that we could go towards those hundreds of thousands of dollars. We already tapped 126. Nobody believed we were going to be there when we were down at $3,000 or $5,000 in 2019. But guess what? We just hit 126 a few months ago, and now, is it really that hard to believe that we might hit a $500,000 Bitcoin in the next 5 years or 4 years of this decade? I don't think so. It's still one of the best performing assets overall, and it all depends on your entry. Guys, if you see anybody talking about DMing them because they're covering your bills, that's a scam. Don't do that. Don't do that. This person blocked. Instant block. Don't come in here trying to scam people, bro. With institutions here, I don't think Bitcoin will drop as much as previous bear markets. Schwartz, so I tend to agree with that to an extent, right? I feel like that is a logical way to think. It's definitely Bitcoin. If we look at the daily here, right? Let's jump out to a different Bitcoin chart, one that's just more clean with less things on it. Right here, this one is probably the perfect one. Let's get rid of all this stuff here. I was literally covering this in the Crypto Citadel the other day. So overall, if we look at the chart here, right, Bitcoin has had multiple drops this rally, right? In 2024, we dropped from its high to its lows 33%, right? 33% to its lows. Then we rallied from 48,000. So it was from a $74,000 top to a $48,000 bottom in August of 2024. We rallied from that 48,000 all the way up to $109,000 at the ending of 2024 in December. Then in Q1 of 2025, we dropped all the way down to 74,000, which was a 31% drop. So, second 30% drop. Then we rallied from 74,000 to about 126,000, which was the top here recently in October. And then now we've dropped another 36% drop to the current low of 80,000. So if we continue this trend, right, we also look at the trend of pumps to the upside. We pumped 122% back in 2024. We pumped 69% in 2025 to all-time highs. If we do something similar to the upside, we're looking at $130,000 to $140,000, a 70% pump from the current lows to the upside. So overall, the drops have been less drastic, right? In previous cycles for Bitcoin would drop 50%, 40 to 50% drops multiple times throughout the bull market, and Bitcoin has done the same exact thing this time, just at a smaller scale. 33 with the highest being 36%, which is the most recent drop that we've had. So between 33, 31 to 36, those have all been the large pullbacks. So is there a case to point that, hey, if this does hold up, right, if we do start to reclaim that 2025 yearly range above 98,000 and start to live back above 100, can we rally towards all-time highs? Yes, right? Maybe this is the new standard of dropping only about 30 something plus percent before having these next big leg ups in the market, which fuels the setup for a 50 plus percent move for Bitcoin in quarter one, right? But it's all going to depend on how we close out the year here. It doesn't guarantee us that we can't pull lower, right? So it's one of those things where a lot of people have gotten very comfortable with the idea that pullbacks aren't going to be anytime anymore. Pullbacks aren't going to be large anymore, and that the bear market as we used to know it is gone. I have thought about that, but you also got to think about the contrary. When a lot of people think the same thing and they all believe the same thing, most of the time they're wrong, right? The grand majority of people are not always right. The grand majority of people are pretty much always wrong. So when too many people think the same thing, it could be what is setting you up for a lower drop. Diamond says, God bless you. Appreciate that, brother. God bless every single one of you guys watching this stream here right now. Hope all your prayers come true. So you don't think Bitcoin is going to have a slow grinding decline over the next year? It can. I'm just saying that there is a chance. There is a chance, right, that we have a nice 50% move to the upside. It just happens. It just depends on how we close out the year. If we break below certain key levels, right, we're going to be looking for lower lows, right? If we lose 80,000, we're going to be looking for that 74,000. We lose 74, we're going to be looking for 67 to 56, right? It's just those things. We start losing levels and you start looking for lower. Do you see ETH profiting more this coming year or Bitcoin? So I do believe altcoins and Ethereum are going to have a very, very aggressively bullish year if Bitcoin cooperates, right? If Bitcoin does have that major move. Now, why do I say that? If we look at ETH versus Bitcoin, right here is the Bitstamp. This actually isn't the chart that I was looking for. I am looking for the ETH for Bitcoin, but I don't think it's this one. But overall, right here, you guys can see, this is the ETH versus Bitcoin. ETH versus Bitcoin, since 2021, ETH has been performing greater than Bitcoin, right? And ever since 2022, this ETH versus Bitcoin has been declining. So we've been dropping since September of 2022. The ETH versus Bitcoin has been dropping, meaning Bitcoin's been outperforming Ethereum this entire time. And we finally started to catch a bottom here around April of 2025, and we started to finally start to have a reversal to the upside. So meanwhile, this reversal continues and we don't continue to break down lower, it shows you that ETH is preparing itself to outperform and rally against Bitcoin. So yes, if Bitcoin does have another leg up, another 50% move to the upside in quarter one, quarter two of 2026, I do believe Ethereum is going to outwork Bitcoin more. And let's go take a look at the Ethereum chart here to discuss why, on top of that, the ETH versus Bitcoin, why I believe it's going to happen. And it's simple because Ethereum has been holding up drastically well against Bitcoin. As Bitcoin has had all these major price fluctuations, right? We have currently fallen out of the previous year range, yada, yada, all this stuff. Ethereum has rallied all the way to practically 5,000, dropped back down, still within the 2024 yearly range, still making higher lows, right? This low here of 26 to 27,000 is a higher low than the low from June of 2025 at 2,100. And obviously, this is still a higher low scenario. So if this gold pocket here of 2,600 was the bottom and we are going to rally higher, right? Our targets to the upside are between 39 to 4,900, which is the all-time high. And then above that, we have targets as high as 5,600 and higher. We have a, where's my one-to-one? Hold on. One-to-one, there you go. 1-to-1 takes us right to $6,668. And then, this over 100% gold pocket up at 8,500 would be the largest target I can foresee happening for Ethereum to the upside. Now, don't get me wrong, we could pull back in the meantime, right? We do have a yearly developing NPLC below us at 2,500, so not going to really have any significant rallies at all for them. ETH and Solana will outperform Bitcoin this next cycle. Possible. Definitely possible. Altcoins are definitely going to have a bigger rally because altcoins have already dropped 80, 90%. Bitcoin's only dropped 36%, right? So if Bitcoin does bottom here and the 36% drop is the bottom before the next big leg up, altcoins are already down 80, 90%, right? We look here on the monthly, altcoins are smashed. I know in the yearly, some of them are up, but look at the yearly. Most of them are down 42%, 89%, 65, 87, 82, 82, 88, 85, 69, 71, 74, 77, 85, 78, 81, right? Everything is above 40 something percent to the negative on the year, right? Except for a few outliers here and there, but everything else is in the dumps. So that is why altcoins could be having a larger move and could outperform Bitcoin because their movements to the upside will be more drastic since they've already had a more drastic drop of 80+%. Let's see here. What just happened? What are you talking about? You're talking about the big drop this morning? It was a bull trap, guys. It was a bull trap. Guess what? We had a very spontaneous, massive blast off taking us up to the previous day NPLC of Monday, and we swept. We SFP'd the Monday high along with some key levels here between 89, between 90,000 and 90,300. I warned the Crypto Citadel about this. We took a short. We wrote it down. We've hit TP1 and TP2, and now could be going for TP3, which is down at 85,200. I already closed the trade at TP2, made over 47%, which was fantastic. So if you guys want to catch trades like this, you guys want to learn how to trade, right? Because the Crypto Citadel is not just about catching signals and catching trades and trading live every day with me. It's about education, right? So if you are dedicated, if you want to start learning how to read charts so that you can actually start depending on your own understanding and seeing what's happening in data versus just going into people's live streams and being at the mercy of content creators to tell you what's happening and hope that they're telling you the truth, right? The Crypto Citadel is about learning how to read charts. And it's all about starting to just learn how to chart. When you can chart, you can start understanding where to better dollar cost average, when to avoid FOMO. Hey, this looks like a reversal. Hey, this doesn't look like the perfect time to be buying. I'll wait for a pullback. I'll wait for these key levels, right? You can start game planning. But if you don't have a game plan and you're just throwing money at the market blindly, whether it's trading or in spot, you're going to get wrecked every single time. So when you join the Crypto Citadel, the first thing I tell everybody when they first join is go watch the trading course. It's an hour long, and right now I'm going to be making it about 2 hours long. I'm going to be producing a whole nother hour of content of trading strategies and different indicators that we use that are all free to be used on TradingView so that you can have better strategies on how to trade these markets, right? So that you guys have the knowledge. I'm not gatekeeping the knowledge. People have taught me, I want to teach you, right? So if you're dedicated to learning and learning how to read charts, it's not about joining the Crypto Citadel and becoming an instant day trader overnight and quitting your 9 to 5. That's not what it's about. What it's about is learning how to read charts, learning how to read data so you can have a better idea of when to properly dollar cost average in your spot bags, when to maybe take some profits in your spot bags, and then start playing with trading on the side, not to replace your 9 to 5 income, but as a supplemental income, right? As an extra second stream of income, making $100, $200 every couple of days, every week, every 3 weeks, right? At the end of the month, you're making an extra $500, an extra $1,000, right? At the end of the month, and who doesn't want an extra $500 to $1,000 at the end of the month? Everybody would benefit from that, right? And that is possible if you educate yourself and you start reading these charts and start understanding how to do this right? As a side to continue to help yourself make more income. Now, am I guaranteeing you to make money? Nothing like that, right? No, I'm not. That's not what it is. It's all about being an educational platform so that you guys can learn. But a lot of people don't want to learn. A lot of people just want to get rich quick, guys. And at the end of the day, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm taking you to the water. It's up to you to drink. It's up to you to learn. It's up to you to be active and start trading and start asking questions and start, learning as much as possible and gaining experience in charting and putting things on your own charts outside of mine, right? My charts, my analysis, everything that's posted in the Crypto Citadel is for you to use as a guide, for you to understand why things are the way they are, why the market structure is what it is, so that you can reflect on that and then use it to make it and put it on your own chart. Appreciate all you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. If you want to join the Crypto Citadel, the link is in the profile, right? Wherever you're watching. If you can't find the link, just send me a DM and I'll send it to you over on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm sorry, Instagram's not on. Instagram got banned. But over on YouTube, the description is down below in the description of the video, description of the live stream. You guys will see Crypto Citadel. You can get 50% off your first month right now with the code Citadel, right? With the code Citadel right now. Citadel 50, sorry. Citadel 50. If you use the code Citadel 50, you can get 50% off your first month right now. You'll get daily chart analysis, trade setups, the trading course, my exclusive trading indicators that I've created, live trading sessions that we do Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. every day, and the trade signals, whether they're a day trade or a swing trade signal, all get posted in there. So, like I said, I'm gonna be releasing a second batch of trading course content before Christmas here. It's, if you're interested and dedicated to start joining and start learning, this is the time. You can get 50% off your first month with the code Citadel50. Is that 85-200 possible? As you mentioned, your third TP. Let's go take a look. Yeah, look, Bitcoin right now is losing the London low and London high, losing the support. That is the next target here. The next target is this 85,200. 85,200 is our next target to the downside. We're slowly dripping to the downside. Let's see here when this 4-hour candle closes. We still have a whole nother hour. I mean, guys, look how bearish this looks. Look at this 4-hour candle. We had this major rally, right? This was the bull trap. And then we closed the 4-hour. Even if you would have missed this entire move, getting a close down here on this 4-hour with this massive wick to the upside, that is definitely easy. Like, hey, we're going to be dropping lower, right? You could have still taken this short after this 4-hour candle closed, even though it rallied up a little bit to 87,000. It was just retesting this previous week low. It was given the retest for rejection. Boom, lost it. And we continue on the way down towards TP number 3 here, 85,200. Now, if that's lost, our next big target to the downside will be 83,700. Not saying that we're going there today, but later this week could definitely be happening, especially with the Japan interest rate hike happening this Friday. Let's see. Do you think Bitcoin can break away? Do you think anything can break away from following Bitcoin? Example, mass XRP adoption by institutions? No. Sorry, guys. It doesn't matter how much adoption XRP gets. XRP is not getting more adoption than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is literally the first one to get all the adoption. It was the first one to get the ETFs, right? It's the first one that is now being allowed to be used by banks for banks to buy for their clients, right? It's the one that everyone is trying to use for lending and collateralizing, right? So even though XRP can do great things fundamentally and get adoption from banks, this idea that the altcoins are like XRP, like a very few selected, but let's use XRP as an example since you brought it up, that XRP is going to break away from Bitcoin and XRP is going to be having this massive pump while Bitcoin is dumping, is not real. It's never going to be real. Maybe someday in the next 10 years when Bitcoin becomes a fully matured asset at, $20 trillion market cap or whatever, and it's a whole lot harder to move around. And all the global liquidity markets, right? All the wealth funds from around the world are buying Bitcoin and have created their Bitcoin reserves and have been holding Bitcoin, and they're done with Bitcoin. Then at some point we could see altcoins, performing more decoupled from Bitcoin. But the reality is that in the next 4 to 5 years, there's going to be an altcoin bubble pop, right? Just how we had a .com bubble where 90% of companies of .com bubble internet companies in the 90s died, right? The grand majority of altcoins are going to also disappear. Only the very few that are selected by ETFs or so will be the ones that will survive and stay in the long term. And I understand you're like, well, Crusader XRP is chosen for an ETF. Fantastic. I'm not saying that it's going to go away. I'm just saying that right now, nowhere near in the near term future, no level of adoption for XRP or any altcoin is going to allow altcoins to decouple from Bitcoin. Bitcoin still runs 59% of the market dominance, meaning that meanwhile that dominance exists at those levels where Bitcoin is over 50% or just the dominant market share, Bitcoin runs the market. If Bitcoin drops, altcoins will continue to drop. How low will XRP drop, you think? The lowest? So I do have an XRP chart here that we can go answer that exact same question. So XRP, if Bitcoin does have the dumperooski down to 80,000, 73,000, or whatever it is first, right? XRP is following our major downtrend to the downside here that you guys can see since back in July of 2025. Meanwhile, Bitcoin was making new all-time highs throughout July, August, and October. XRP kept making lower highs and lower highs and lower highs. And right now we've closed, potentially we're going to be closing our third daily candle below the $2 support, below this green support that we've been holding since December of 2024. The last time that we were below it for daily candles was back in the lows of the tariff wars, right, of fears back in April of 2025, which was the total bottom. We closed 3 dailies down here, and then on our fourth daily, we got back above the support zone of $2. Right now, we're about to close our third day. Right, in the next 5 hours, we're going to be closing our third daily candle below $2. We're currently sitting at $1.85. And the targets to the downside for XRP are between 177 as the first near target to as low as 113, $1.13. That's right. That's lower than the liquidation that we did for October 10th. And that doesn't mean that that is the absolute bottom. We have other targets down at 77, down to 62 cents. Right? Even down as low as 37 cents. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go to 37. I'm definitely going to be looking for that $1 support to hold up pretty well. But if we start to lose $1, look out for 77 to 62 cents. And like I said, it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. If Bitcoin just continues having this slow drop, those are the targets that I'm looking for between 177 to 113 here for XRP in the short to midterm. You like Monero? Monero? You mean Monero? Monero's good. Privacy coin. Nothing to not like about it. XMR. Monero up 99% of the year. Privacy coins had their little, nice price targets and nice price moves. Solana, like I said earlier today, Solana's big price targets are to the downside. We're currently holding 119. But if we lose that 119 support and start losing the yearly range of 2025, our next big target below 119 is $73. $73. If you're a true king Bitcoin, wow, 85,600 right now. Yeah, drop it to 85,600. Next big target is 85,200. If 85,200 is not held, what is the next target down? Next target down below 85,200 for Bitcoin is 83.75. 83.75, and then below 83.75 is the previous month low, where'd it go, of 80,500. 80,500. Bitcoin dropping like it's hot right now. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot, hot. thoughts on Aster? Not really been tracking Aster. I know, the CZ coin, their decks they're trying to compete with Hyperliquid is cool fundamentally, but overall, no big deal. Oh, somebody here is just getting blocked. XRP is the best coin. Tap the link to buy in the bio. DM me for more info. Guys, if somebody's telling you to click their link to go buy an altcoin, it's a scam. You're going to get drained. Don't do it. Just got blocked. Sorry, Kirby, but you are long gone. How high do you think ADA is going? Man, I'd be happy if ADA just gets back over $1. Gets back over $1. Now, ADA does have targets. Don't get me wrong. We do have targets. Targets. Let's look up the ADA chart here. Right, ADA right now melting away. Next big target to the downside is below 36 cents. Is we're looking at 27 cents. Now, to the upside, we do have a target of 64 cents. And then we have another target around 89 cents. But, that $1 mark is going to be the big kahuna for ADA. If we can get above $1, we have targets between $1.20 to $1.78 at least. What are your thoughts on Tau? Tau is one of the few AI coins that I am very bullish on. I know they just recently had a halving event, which is great. Less supply coming on chain. I am a holder of Tau. Tau could definitely still drop lower. So Tau right now getting rejected from its support here around $300. We're currently at 235. Targets to the downside are between 216 to 142 to the downside. 216 to 142 for BitTensor Tau. Now, targets to the upside are between 363 to 392 with our final target at 617. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Thank you. Please join the Crypto Citadel if you haven't already. If you're looking at this analysis, you want to start learning how to do it yourself, right? Everything that I'm using here, all the indicators, the regression trends, the gold pockets, the extensions, the NPOCs, everything, I covered it. All right, I did a free webinar last Sunday. I might do another free webinar this Sunday. But if you want to learn all of this in high detail, right, join and get access to our trading course, right? So it can teach you everything you need to know on how I'm doing what I'm doing, and start following my trades, start looking at my analysis, macro, short term, also day trades, right? Day signals for day trades, swing trades, stuff like that, and get access to my live trading sessions Monday through Thursday where we trade together live. So you can get all of that for about $5 a day. But right now you can get 50% off of that. So it'd be about $2.50 a day to be in there with the code CITADEL50. CITADEL50, and you can get 50% off your first month, guys. First month, and you get all of these things. And like I said, I'm going to be adding about another hour of trading course content here before Christmas. So you're going to be getting about 2 hours or more of trading course content to really help you get through and get started and learning how to analyze the charts. Hope all is well. Appreciate that, Mike. Good to see you here. Good to see all of you guys. God bless every single one of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate everyone joining the Crypto Citadel. Like always, guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading these blockchains, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.